Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Car video, okay, or car explanation video. Um, so I take the block over to my buddy at the machine shop in Bowling Green. Um, that was an interesting thing, man. I got a video I want to throw in here where I'm just walking around his shop and not much explanation because he wasn't doing anything. He was on the phone trying to find a crankshaft for an 84, 85, 2.8. 86 and up 2.8s. You got the main seal in the back, you just drive in. 84, 85 has the internal seal like a small block Chevrolet. Otherwise, I got crankshafts sitting around anywhere or around here that'll fit that thing. So he's calling around a bunch of places, and so while he's on the phone, I just walk around his shop, kind of show some of his stuff he's got going on. But nobody has 84, 85, 83 style crankshafts. 86 and up, oh, they're everywhere. So, struggling with that one. I don't know, he said, I'll just keep working on it, man, I'll find one. Because, look, like I've told y'all many times before, I don't like turned cranks. I just don't like them. I've never put one in that the rear main seal didn't leak. And he was telling me, he goes, well, that sounds kind of odd. I know quite a few people put in, turn cranks and not have a leak. I said, dude, I ain't never put a crank that's been turned in a little 2.8 that didn't leak like crazy out the rear main. Even that little 85, it still leaks out that rear main. And I put 3 seals in that thing. And I'm not an idiot, so what they do is they polish that rear main surface down when they turn them, and they get them to where that seal, that lip on that seal is barely making contact. Because if you take an old crank out of a 2.8 or even a small block Chevy, there's always a little ring, right, where that seal's cut itself in and sealed to it. I've never tore one apart with a crank in it that's turned that has that lip or that little groove. So, I don't know. He said he'd figure it out. He also said, man, I got people we can send that thing to and have them build it back up and turn it down and get everything right. He goes, you got 2 choices on that one. You can either wait 2 or 3 months to get it back or spend a crap ton of money on a crank. So, yeah, still fighting that dilemma on that little 2.8. Let's see. I had some more stuff in my head I was going to impart here. What else did he say? Hang on, let me think about this. I'll be right back. Okay, finally remembered it. When I was sitting there talking to him about putting that blower on that 85 2.8 and stick it in this little red truck, crap, I lost it again. Oh, if y'all remember, man, I was torn between, do we put a saddle assembly in this thing to stiffen up the bottom end, or just some ARP studs, and maybe, a different crank, a hardened crank? I looked at him, I said, well, hey, man. I said, how much do you think, off the top of your head, not holding you to it, but how much you think it will be to make that cradle assembly or saddle assembly in the bottom end of that thing and stiffen it up? He goes, well, And he sat there for like 5 minutes and just thinking. He goes, I'm just gonna be honest with you. He said, that could run upwards of like $500. He said, just depends on what all I have to do in that motor, you know, and what all machining processes I have to go through. And I was like, $500 for a play truck? I don't know. And I looked at him and I said, well, what do you think about just ARP studs in there for right now? Leave that cast crank in and just not really, you know, hammer it. He goes, well, I don't know. I've seen the blower because I took the blower over and showed him, right, when I was talking to him about this stuff. And he goes, well, it's not a real big blower. He said, but, you know, we don't have any idea how much pressure is going to be thrown on that bottom end. He goes, so I don't know, you know. He said, if you want to take the chance on the ARP studs and that cast crank, you know, you're going to find the weakest link. He said, I'll tell you that. He goes, the first time you fire on that thing real hard, he goes, something will come loose. He said, if it don't, hey, everything's great. He said, but if it does, all that money you spend on that motor is just down the drain. I looked at him and I said, well, crap, I got another one sitting under a tarp, you know. He goes, yeah, but you got to bring it back in. We got to bore it out. We got to do all this stuff again. And then you're going to spend the $500 on that saddle assembly to keep everything straight. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I said, but what do you think? He goes, well, if it don't have a lot of pressure, it's a certain on that bottom end, you might be all right. He said, but I would change that crankshaft. He said, I wouldn't leave that cast iron crank in there. He goes, but that's up to you. He said, if you just want to find, you know, the weakest link, he said, I'd leave it like that, put a set of ARP studs in it, and just fire on it. He said, you're going to find out where the weak spot is. And I was like, So, food for thought there on that one. I don't know much about blowers. I don't, you know, that's just completely out of my realm. But he told me, man, he goes, I'll help you out any way I can. He said, I've built a bunch of blower motors and stuff. He goes, but I'm telling you, you know, he said, I'd change that crank. He said, maybe not full steel, but a forged crank, maybe. And stick that in there. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still, you know, it's money for a toy truck. Anyway, here's this little video while I'm walking around. It ain't much. Because like I said, he wasn't doing anything in the shop. He was on the phone. Anyway, let's do that and see what else I can come up to put on this video. We got most of it out here. All right, guys, at this point, I've told you everything I can tell you about what's going on with the little Blazer motor. Just waiting on that crank. So I didn't cover one thing on this, on that 357 video. And I also got a blade in here I want to sharpen on it. So give me a minute. Let's get this set up. I'm going to cover, well, set it up for the strobe saw thing. So that one guy that thinks I'm a DIY hero can see what I'm talking about. And then, like I got a meat slicer blade I'm gonna throw on this thing. Like I said, man, I use this thing for any odd stuff that comes in this shop. And the wife had decided I gotta cut the dog's hair. We don't have a good sharp pair of scissors, so I'm gonna sharpen a pair of scissors. Just put that out there. You scissor guys, I don't want to play that game. Just being straight up serious, I don't want to play that game. I've done many beautician shears, all kind of stuff, but man, household shears. Let me show you how to do a pair of scissors. Right? So, all right, here we go. Let's get her done. All right, guys, let me set you up here over the top of this machine. We'll do that, but we're gonna have to take you off that upper view, and in order to explain how these strobe saws work under this thing. But hey, let's do the meat slicer blade first, and then go to the strobe saw. Okay. All right, guys. We're going to change this wheel. I don't have, this is the wheel I need, but I don't have a CBN wheel. So I'm going to take an old used CBN wheel. Remember, CBN cut steel. Diamond does not cut steel. Don't let me, I get so tired of telling people that. But hey, let's change this wheel out. Well, maybe. Okay. I'll get it there. All right. Let's try right there. All right. Now we have to anchor this thing in the back. Just anywhere we can to hold that head stable. All right. Now, here we go again. Now, our meat slicing blade. I'm still too close. All right. Now, at this point, all we gotta do is find out what angle, right? Because I do quite a few of these, but there's always some kind of angle change. All right. So we're gonna bring the wheel back in and just spin it by hand. Let's bring her back out. Oh, we're off just a hair. I think that'll get it. There we go. Dang it. Got it. All right. Now let's grind this thing. Remember, meat slicing blade. What does it do? Slices meat. Keep your hands out of the way. Hell with it. We'll do it live, man. Hey, guys. We were just talking about something in the shop. All right, guys. At this point, we got this thing set up. All right, it's I think a 20-inch slicer. Hand me that tape measure. Might be an 18-inch. Yep, 18-inch meat slicing blade. Came out of one of these meat packing plants. I don't clean this stuff. I do clean, usually try to, where it rides on the saddle or the cone. But there's no sense of cleaning this stuff off because they're got to go through certain processes to clean it anyway. But I just clean off stuff that might get in my way. All right. So hey, let's grind the meat slicing blade. It's gonna get loud. Low spot. It's all going down. Appreciate it though.
I'll let you know about it.
All right, all we gotta do is keep going around. We got 80% burr around the blade, but there is a low spot on that side. Gonna finish this up off camera, and we'll come back with the strobe sauce. All right, guys, at this point, turn that dust collector on. I don't need it no more. All right, at this point, I'm gonna take a whetstone, or whetstone, W-H-E-T. This is a whetstone, and it should have oil on it, but I don't use stones that often. And these things only come in there for 3 or 4 months. So what I'm gonna do is take this under the bottom and knock off that burr. I'll just make sure the darn thing is still on.
And with that grind on that side, and this being the bottom,
Right.
that edge.
The only thing you're working on is this edge.
Right, so that's what's gonna cut. And
Right.
that edge is gonna help
This
push
is-
everything
this is-
under the table where it
The
scraps and
only thing this side of that blade's doing is pushing that meat into wherever they want it to
And
go.
that's why you want that grind on that side, not
Right.
grind the other side, right?
Yeah, you want that top side flat.
Yes.
All right.
Screwed up your video talking.
No, you're fine. There might be somebody had a question about that, man.
There they go.
All right, I'm gonna do this a couple times because there's still a little tiny burr. And I'm gonna do that till it's completely free of burrs. And then I'm gonna come back and show you something on this cutting edge. All right, guys, what I was talking about is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but if you can see down right here, those little serrations this little grinder puts in it, dude, that stuff works great for cutting bone. Because what they use this blade for is cutting pork chops on the bone. And, you know, I mean, the slower you turn this, the smoother that gets. You know, and the faster you go, the worse the serration gets. But that turned out, if I can get you another picture of it, if you know what I'm looking for, that turned out almost perfect, right? All right, now let's get that off of there. I'm gonna set this up for the strobe saw, so and take a good little picture of it, so you can see what I was talking about it had to go under the motor, not, you know. So give me a second, let me do that. This ain't gonna be but 15 seconds. All right, guys, let's turn her down and get it ready for that. Oh, the strobe saw, my bad. Let me get rid of this. We ain't doing no grinding. Let's change the wheel. You'll make it quicker, man. Jerk that thing off there. And that, yeah.
Right here,
It goes in the middle.
facing that way.
Yep. Remember, we moved this dial, so we got to get it back to 0. That way, everything lines up with the measurements on the back. And this goes in like 0.5 increments. Almost there. Oh, I wouldn't even tighten that fixture down. I just want to show how it works. All right. Strobe saw. All right. Then we have our cone. This has, now that cone ain't over there.
This one.
Yeah. This cone sets down, centers it up. We'll come out, line her up just like we'd be face grinding. There we go. All right, hang on, let me show you what we got. All right, guys, at this point, we're just grinding the face of this strobe, right? Now, let me take you around this side and show you how we accomplished that. With this strobe fixture, all we done is, if we get down here looking at it, right, here's the center of the blade. Up here is the center of the wheel. For sharpening blades, you need to be in the center of everything, right? Sorry, this is in the way, but what we did was, with this fixture, we dropped that center down. So now, when this motor comes in, you see how it goes over the top, right, of that saw blade? So you got a lot more reach in there to grind them strobes. So there's the part on that grinder I missed. Now, let me go over here and grind some scissors. And again, you scissor guys start blowing me up, I promise you, that won't end up well. These are just some household scissors. We're gonna cut my dog's hair, right? But you guys that wanna know how to sharpen scissors, this is basically what you gotta do. You know, people start telling you, you gotta have this special equipment, that special equipment. No, what you need is a belt sander with the capability of, you know, flipping stuff around. And, well, heck, let me show you. Derek's, right? I think I bought this at Lowe's a long time ago. I got a big belt sander sitting over in the hole, but I don't have no place to put it. But this right here will do what you need it to do. If you want to sharpen scissors, I generally keep a 120 grit belt on this thing, just for odd and end, just that kind of thing, yard tools. But this stuff right here, I mean, they are Fiskars. That's not a bad scissor. But this is just household scissors. But you can do high dollar shears on these. You just need to put the right belts on there, right? I mean, you need to get down into, you know, 1,000 grit and stuff like that, and know what you're doing. But hey, we're gonna set you up overhead, show you how to sharpen a pair of crap scissors, right? It's not a problem. All right, so pair of Fiskars. I ain't cleaned them or nothing. They're sticky out here, but they are closing pretty good. So 120 grit sand. We're just gonna try to match this as close as we can. See where we're at. Oh, we're close. See where everybody been using them right out there on the tip. Uh-oh. We got a burr all the way out, and we got a Japanese scissor thing going on here. Huh. Wonder how we could do that with a belt sander. Alright. Cleared the burr off that bottom end. Let's go for this one. Should be right on the end. Do we have a burr? Yes, we do. We still got that conical shape going on. I think I can cut hair with that right there. See if I can find something to cut. Right, aluminum foil. Let's open it up. You know how thin aluminum foil is. One little thing. I think that'll cut hair. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. I ain't gonna show you cutting the dog. But yeah, sharpening scissors ain't no problem. I've got, you know, Okonami, whatever, gold system, twice as sharp. So I've got, dude, I play stuff. Other than that, man, I hope you got something out of this. I do apologize for not following up on that strobe saw attachment that day, but it just escaped my mind. The longer you're on the channel, you'll figure out that's the way I am. But I always get it took care of. Other than that, man, still, crankshaft up in the air about this 85. I'm sure it can be fixed. It's just going to take a long time, right? Some of y'all commented and said y'all was having problems getting them. I'm right there with you guys. All right, with that being said, man, I'm going to get off here. Hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Do the YouTube thing. Main thing is you watched it. We'll see you on the next one. Hope everything's going good in your world. Things are just perfect in your life, and family, home, and safe. See you when I see you.